Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Pivot in Progress episode. I am your host, Arjun. I'm the founder of Pivot, and I'm here with a very interesting and very in demand topic today, wherein we are going to talk about advancing your customer success and account management career in 2026. There's a lot happening in this particular field across the globe. We are seeing a lot of it who are trying. Okay. I hope you all can see me again. There has been a little bit of a glitch at my end. Just going to check if I'm visible again. Yes. All right. So, yeah, welcome again to Pivot in Progress. Apologies for that tech glitch, but happens time to time. So, excited to do this session with two really good speakers in the customer success and account management space. They are already here behind the scenes. I'm just going to add them quickly. All right. So we have Bharat and we have Karan as well. Hi, welcome both.
Hey
How are
Arjun,
you doing?
hi Karan.
Hey Arjun,
Sorry,
good
my
evening.
connection's been a little spotty today. So in case it loses connection again, just let me know, or I'm sure my colleague will let me know, and just bear with me just for today. But thank you both for joining, and really excited to have you here. We haven't done a session on customer success and account management in a long time, and it's actually been on hold for a while because a lot of our clients have been asking us questions related to this field, and we thought it'd be great to have you both. So yeah, welcome again.
Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, what we can do is maybe start with a quick round of intros. Bharat, Karan, if that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, be
So
good.
I'll go first for people who don't know me. So my name is Arjun, and I'm the founder of Pivot. I have spent a majority of my career within HR and people management consulting, and worked both in US and India. I started Pivot in 2021 because I saw that there were a lot of folks who were transitioning from one role or one industry to another, were facing different kinds of challenges which the current ecosystem was not prepared to handle, especially when those shifts were a little more complex or challenging. So that's why we built Pivot to help mid career professionals achieve ambitious transitions. And we've been doing this now for 5 years, worked with over 10,000 professionals. We have a great pool of industry mentors, both like Karan and Bharat, who provide very personalized and objective feedback and mentorship to our users. So we'll talk a little bit more about Pivot and what it does, how it helps people during the course of this conversation. But I'll turn it over to Bharat and Karan to share a little bit about themselves, help us understand their journey and what they do today in brief. So, Bharat, we'll start with you and then we'll go
Oh,
to Karan. Yeah.
perfectly fine. So, hi Arjun, hi everyone. I am Bharat and I work for an IT software company with the name of HCL Software. And basically, I have close to 3 decades of work experience. Pivoted thrice in my career altogether.
Mhm.
Started with the hotel industry, then moved into an advertising and marketing.
Mm.
Major part of my career has been in advertising and marketing. Then moved into an IT company with Oracle. Okay, so this is overall my career. So I've been a people manager. I've managed a BU altogether. Then I've started basically understanding how the IT especially functions. Yeah, that's all from
Got
my
it.
side there.
Great. All right. Thanks, Bharat. Karan, would you like to go next?
Absolutely. Thanks, Arjun. Hi, everyone. My name is Karan Batija. Uh, I have spent most of my career in the startup space, although I share some background with Bharat. We both are ex-Oracle, and so that was a long time ago in my career, right after the acquisition of Sun Microsystems, and this is when I just moved back to India from the US. Uh, Majority of it has been in startups. I have also pivoted a few times, not just across the roles that I've done, but also across industries that I've done those roles in. A lot of SaaS experience, a lot of sales experience, business development, but also a lot of customer success and account management. And I was part of an acquisition, so I've seen a company grow from a very small ARR and then get acquired and become part of a larger conglomerate. And so
Mhm.
I've learned a lot along the way, and I like to I want to just say thanks to Pivot to enable me to bring that knowledge and share it with everybody, uh, and hope to be useful in today's session.
Amazing. Thanks, Karan. So it's good that you both have such in-depth experience in customer success, because a lot of times, when people are coming to us, um, many times they have high level, like initial level of experience, like they might have, let's say, 5 6 years experience at most, or they might be transitioning from another role which is more related to customer interaction. It could be like customer support, it could be sales, could be BD, those kind of roles, but they want to chart their next career path within customer success and account management kind of roles. So having the wealth of experience that comes by spending so much time in this particular field, I think that can be very helpful to such folks. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to touch upon is something that we look at more from a bird's eye view level.
Mhm.
um, some of the key trends that are shaping this field right now. So one of the things that we have been seeing a lot is many folks who are working in tech specifically,
Mhm.
in customer success roles or account management roles. They're definitely looking at AI as one of the key impact points within their career, to understand from various angles how they can leverage it to maximize their career potential. So some of the questions we typically get are, should I be moving from my current company to a more AI native product kind of company? Should I be working on designing certain customer success workflows internally in the organization that can make things more efficient, higher quality? And should I be doing it in collaboration with the tech team and the product team, or should I be doing it almost on my own using certain AI tools? So those are the two questions that I want to begin with at a high level. And obviously, if there is anything else which you think is significant enough impacting the customer success field right now, would love to hear the bird's eye view perception right now of the field. So we'll start with Bharat.
Basically, what I look at in AI is a tool which is basically helping you out. Okay, so there's nothing to worry about as far as AI is concerned. AI is here to help you out. Like I remember when I can give you an example of how the media industry transitioned from a traditional media to a television. When
Yeah.
television came in, okay, so especially the news channels, there was a plethora of news channels around on the television with the cable TVs and all those things. So people used to say that newspaper is going to die. Newspaper is going to die. Then the radio came in. Then they say that okay, fine, the sales of the cassettes and the CDs are going to go off. So this is the same kind of situation which is happening right now. So people
Yeah.
are. This is not a. It's not a ghost. It's not a rather a devil. AI. AI is here to support you, right? So I am sure Karan would agree with it. Okay, so there are multiple tools which are available, especially for good customer success itself. Okay,
Mhm.
which actually helps you out in building up all those basically your technical things and all and your back end work. Okay, which used to take a lot of time. Now it takes a less number of hours, and you are basically free to spend time with customer to understand their need. Okay, the customer success is going to go more and more personalized now. This
Mhm.
is what I feel. Okay, as far as
Got
AI is concerned, you don't need to be a techie to understand this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there are tools which are available. You don't need
Yep.
to build any workflows on your own. There are
Mm.
workflows already built up. So there are
Mm.
companies who are doing it. There is your own team if you're working in a tech space, your own company who is building it up.
Mm.
Okay, customer success is basically taking care of your customer. Okay, and retaining your ARR, your NRR, or GRR, whatever the jargon you want to put it forward to. Okay, this is all from my side. As far as AI is concerned, it's not a devil. It's here to support you. It's kind of an helping hand. It's kind of an assistant to you, rather. I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, nice one, Bharat. I think we lost Arjun. We will give him a second to come back. Yeah.
Yes, I'm back. Yes, sorry
Okay.
about that. Yeah, I
That's
think Bharat, I got most of what you were saying. Should maybe we can move on to Karan's perspective on this then.
sure. I
Yeah.
really like Bharat's analogy about how it's an assistant, right? AI is there's a lot of negative sentiment around AI taking jobs away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm going to be eliminated and there's going to be mass layoffs. We keep reading about this stuff. But we got to remember that what AI is really doing is it's eliminating jobs which should not have existed for humans in the first place, right? It's like putting a machine in the place of a human being. Let's say you're, in a factory line, right? You're making something by hand.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can replace 1,000 workers by putting in one machine that can run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that's not a bad thing. The 1,000 workers are not actually getting eliminated. What's expected of them is to do better work or higher level work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so AI is doing the same thing now for all kinds of jobs, right? And I would liken it to, like, if you think about when the calculator came out, people said, "Oh, this is going to take away all the finance professionals' jobs." Absolutely
Mm-hmm.
not true, right? And
Yeah.
so, and as an assistant, like, look at the GPS, right? It's not driving for you, although there are now AI assisted
I mean, there are self-driving cars that are there.
autonomous.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But this again, it frees you up to do your work in the car while the car takes you from like one place to the other, right? So
Right.
you got to look at it from like a future perspective where you say, hey, okay, so I'm not doing this repetitive admin heavy version of my job today. What
Mm-hmm.
else could I be doing, right? So I could think strategically, act like, these are things that you should be thinking of, not the fact that, oh, AI is taking my job, my L1 support is gone, my
Yeah.
ticket triage, all of this stuff that I used to do is going to go away, so I'm going to lose my job. If you were doing those things anyway, it was repetitive work. It's not meant for human beings, right? We are high
Mm-hmm.
level thinkers and we should act as high level thinkers. So let
Yeah.
AI do all of the grunt work. Let it be the assistant, the intern, whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
and then use it productively. Use the tools out there. There are plenty of tools out there. You don't need to be a coder to actually incorporate AI into your workflows. And like
Yeah.
Bharat said, all these workflows are pre-built. Companies like Gainsight, Join Zero, all of these guys like Planat, these are dedicated platforms that have built out these workflows based on customer life cycles across the pool of customers that they deal with. So these are
Yeah.
ready to use, right?
And
All
just
you need to do,
they can actually customize it to your needs.
Yeah.
They can
absolutely,
actually customize
absolutely.
that to your needs.
Yeah. So you just need to be aware of it. You need to be AI fluent. That doesn't mean you're an ML engineer, right? That's
Right.
really where we are today. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. That being said, I mean, one of the things that we have been, I don't know if it's a misconception or if it's really true, but we have been hearing a lot of hiring managers, recruiters talking about that. Hey, today anybody can do that vibe coding work, and not that everybody needs to become a techie or an engineer for sure. But for a lot of young people, when there are fewer opportunities today, like if you look at the job market today at the entry level, fresher level, and also at mid manager level, it's been severely impacted compared to last 4 5 years. Just if you look at the pure data, the hiring that's happening is happening. It's not like it's not happening, but the supply of talent, really outweighs the demand that's out there. So earlier, if there were, let's say, 100 200 people applying to an opening, today we are seeing 500 to 600 people applying to the same opening on average. And one of the things that a lot of hiring managers and other experts are talking about is how you can stand out in a crowded market. And we'll talk about that as a separate topic as well during this discussion. But because we brought up the point around that, hey, you don't really need to do anything related to AI, building workflows, or building something on your own if you're in customer success or cam roles. Just to play devil's advocate, I really want to understand, like, so these people are saying, you should perhaps build something. It's not going to be the core part of your responsibility, but it can help you stand out, because let's say there are 100 other CSMs who have applied for a role, who can't talk about how they improve the operational workflow within their company, but you can if you do this right. If you, like, for example, figure out what are the most inefficient parts of your day-to-day job, which perhaps are affecting other CSMs and CAMs as well. Maybe you build something and you help your company kind of improve that particular challenge or that particular workflow. Now, is that, I mean, that might be called going above and beyond, or that might be, like, based on what I'm hearing, it could be called even redundant, like you don't need to do it because the workflows are already pre-built in a lot of the tools that we are getting. So which one is it? Like, would you say there is any scope for a CSM or CAM to take more initiative, stand out in their company or within their job search process by building certain workflows? Or workflows is one example, but utilizing AI as a tool beyond what is possible today in CSM, is that something that you would advise or not really? Bharat, if you want to
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
So
Yeah.
basically, whatever the tools which are available, let's say, as Karan mentioned about Churn Zero is a very in-depth tool. Okay, as far as AI is concerned in customer success specifically, there are other tools like you can move to HubSpot and all those things. Okay, all those
Yeah.
CRM tools as well. Okay, so it's all about data. It's the more you're gonna dive into it, the more outcomes you can get out of it. Okay,
Mm,
sometimes it's kind of sometimes it happens like data is not that structured once. Okay,
mm,
data is not that structured, so you structure the data and then you do, I would say, basically learn about basics of AI.
mm,
At least learn about basics of AI, learn at least about doing a proper prompt engineering. Okay, it's
mm,
like when I was working in an advertising industry. Okay, then this digital advertising came in. Okay, and the traditional advertising did take a hit, a little bit of hit. Okay, but then again it coped up. Okay, so
mm,
there was this basically keyword search and all those things. So we used to call it like a person is very well versed with the Google keywords and Google what do you say, Google AdSense and all. Yeah.
mhm,
So in a similar way, when a new thing is coming up, why not actually learn it, learn a bit of it. Okay, at least learn a prompt engineering, learn how the agentic AI works, how the agents work for you. Okay,
mhm,
rather than building up an agent. Okay,
mhm,
learn how the workflows of that particular agent is. Okay,
mm,
so that will give you a rather an edge on a CSM who is and basically keep reading about what's happening in the industry. How, because industry is changing quite fast. It's rather
yeah.
pretty fast. Okay, every day something or the other new thing which comes up. Okay, so you need to be well versed with what's happening in the market, what's happening in the
Mhm,
tech space, especially these tools are concerned. Okay, so you don't actually uh, I would say a tool can be learned, right? So if suppose somebody says that you do you know how to work on Salesforce, I would say yes, I can work on Salesforce. I might not be working in and out of it, but if you will ask me that, can you work on CRM, Microsoft CRM? Yes, I can work on Microsoft CRM or an Oracle OKS or other what you say Adobe ones. Okay,
yeah.
but these things are basically you just need to be well versed with those terminologies. That's number one. You need to learn the basics before jumping onto a CS. Okay, this is the same kind of advice which I've given to a number of sessions which I've taken through Pivot as well. Okay,
Mhm,
so to learn the basics and don't be shy away from learning things.
mm. Got it. Karan, what's your perspective on this?
Yeah, I definitely agree that you should keep learning, right? But at the same time, I also feel that when we talk about hiring managers saying that, hey, this is what I'm looking for,
Mm.
uh, I think this is all to do with what's trending right now. Like people are talking about AI so much that everybody wants to deploy AI, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's right for their business or not, and for
Mhm.
right for that process, that particular setup.
Yeah.
That being said, AI can be used in so many different ways, right? So,
Mm.
like Bharat said, if it's just to analyze data, also, right? Really good use case because it can take a ton of data, and give you instant answers about the data, right? You don't need to go into Power BI or wherever to kind of play with it. So,
Mhm.
absolutely useful there, but it is also very helpful in other ways, right? And the workflows and playbooks that we talked about earlier, while some of them may be pre-built, those are again standardized, templatized kind of versions. And it's up to you as a CSM to learn how to
Mm.
adapt those to your company's way of doing things. So
Mhm.
if you're in a process, and this will also depend on the stage of the company in a very big way. When we talk about hiring managers in a startup, they're
Yeah.
going to give a lot of credence to like, hey, can this person adapt? Is he really scrappy? Does he know how to learn and build
Mm.
new things? Whereas in like a mature org in an enterprise setting, you may never get the opportunity to do that, right? You could
Right.
bring that idea to your manager, who might bring it to their senior manager or VP or director, whoever,
Yeah, that's a
and then
very interesting point. So, like at a larger organization, perhaps you can't make a big impact by saying you're, scrappy and building things on your own because you'll never get that opportunity. But at a more like self-sustaining startup at an early stage or a mid stage, even that could be a more impactful thing for them. That's a
absolutely.
nice nuance point. Yeah,
Absolutely, I totally agree with Karan, what you said.
yeah,
Yeah, and it may actually be seen as a negative thing if you keep bringing up changes that you would like to see in the process, right?
sure,
Because it
sure.
says, hey, this guy doesn't work well with everyone; he's complaining constantly, or he thinks
Yeah,
he knows better, right? Which is
yeah,
not a good. It's not a good look for anybody.
yeah,
So it would heavily depend on which company, what stage they are in. Are they open to change? Are they actually going through organization, like redevelop, like whatever changes, reorgs are happening?
yeah,
At that stage, okay, maybe you can come up with new ideas. Okay, maybe we should incorporate this and that.
yeah.
But also, you need to come up with solutions, right? You can't just come up with an idea.
Sure.
Like everybody keeps coming to you, like in a leadership position, everyone comes to you with this new idea every day,
Yeah,
and it's really on you to kind of say, hey, do I need to keep listening to everybody, or can I maybe pick one or two of these things and work on it for the next 6 months, and
yeah,
actually evaluate and see it to fruition, right?
yeah.
So if you come to me with a solution which says, hey, you know what, this is the problem that we are facing today in the company, and this is my potential fix for it, which is going to give us X amount of increase in revenue, or reduce a churn by X amount. If you come to me with something like that, then I can actually act on it. And I think a hiring manager wants that, right? They want outcomes, they want business impact. They don't want stories which lead nowhere, right? It's like,
Sure.
hey, I got this great idea. And so I think if you look at it from that perspective, absolutely learn AI, learn the basics of it, like Bharat said, uh, but learn enough that you can actually use it for something productive. Don't just learn enough to say, hey, I can, I'm going to write my wife a love letter using AI. Right? I mean, you could use it, but absolutely not the best use case for that.
Sure, sure.
And
Helpful. Yeah, Bharat, you wanted to add something?
yeah, I just wanted to say basically, as far as AI is concerned, when we talk about AI, is the key. Uh, AI can only be a tool. Okay, the empathy, the negotiation is the human who's going to do it.
Mm.
Because the human connect is very, very much important. Okay,
Yeah.
finding a targeted profiling. Okay, look, say I have seen people like I have rather met and interacted with people who are from a different industry and they want to get into a CS. Okay, and then they mix CS customer success with many other things. Okay, wherein customer success itself is so fragmented that their number of departments are basically merged and clubbed into one thing. In some places they are focused
Mm.
on customer success.
Mm. Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
their
Mm.
job is only to understand and grow that particular customer. Okay,
Mm.
as we are in 2026, the focus of most of the organizations. The day before yesterday, I was reading a white paper from Red Hat. Okay, and there was one line over there that 2026 and 2027 is not the year for you to go out and do the hunting job so much.
Yeah.
invest into hunting much. It's all about retaining what the customer number of customers that you have, right? And to retain them, you need a human connect. You don't need a automated email going to 10,000 people with a maybe a personalized messaging, but yes, the human connect will not be there.
Mm.
So
Mm.
empathy, AI will not get you.
Right.
It's you who's going to bring it in. Okay. And another thing which I wanted to say, maybe we will talk about this later in detail, is like people targeting the companies. I have seen a finance guy targeting a company which is in fire, which is a pharma tech company. Okay, which is not going to happen.
Mm.
Okay, so there's a clear mismatch over there.
Right. So actually, Bharat, just pause on that because I'm going to now bring that particular topic in as the core focus of our discussion. Actually, so see, we've talked about AI because that is the elephant in the room. Everybody, regardless of which background you are from, and everybody and their mothers are talking about AI right now. So it was important to touch on that topic right away, and we'll keep bringing it up wherever it's organic, wherever it makes sense to. But the next thing that I do want to focus on is not just necessarily AI for customer success or cam roles, but understanding what is like how is the job market and industry demand shifting in terms of the skill requirements for this role, right? I, for one, have been hearing that there's always been an increase in customer expectations from what the products can do for various reasons, whether it is the maturity of the industry, becoming better and better, so you tend to just naturally expect more, or because there are new entrants in the market which are ready to provide more for less, or there could be hundreds of other reasons. So the just trying to understand how do you see the skill requirements overall, not just specifically for let's say tech companies only, for only hard skills or soft skills, but overall, where do you see uh, companies and hiring managers requiring more and more uh, in demand skills from the candidates in this role? And the one thing that I do want to end with is not just looking at like a list of skills that we can tell people, but also talk about how do they go about acquiring or strengthening those skills, right? So yeah, Karan, you want to start off this one?
Sure, I can take this.
Yeah.
It's a really good, way of framing this question, Arjun. And I think there are three major areas, right, that you can consider when it comes to skills that are relevant for this kind of role. Uh, the first one is something nobody used to talk about 5 years ago for customer success, which is commercial acumen or commercial responsibility, right? And what that means is essentially you've gone from somebody who was tasked with relationship development and keeping in touch with the customer, having a good rapport, all the empathy in the world, all of those things, to suddenly you have this commercial side to your job, which says, hey, you're also responsible for the revenue that this customer brings to the company, right? Not
Right.
only do you have to keep them happy, but also make sure that they buy enough from us to make them valuable to the company,
Mhm.
right? And so this is the new angle to the role, which has evolved over time, and we are seeing lines getting blurred between account management and customer success in that way, right? Typically, it was account management teams responsible for upsells, renewals, all of that. But now, increasingly, we're seeing the person who's closest to the customer, which is the customer success professional, being
Yeah.
responsible for these things as well. So, aside from the value realization, the executive storytelling, all that ability that was there, you now have to add in the commercial or the business acumen side of it, where you say, hey, I am responsible. This is my order book, right? I'm actually have an order book right now. So most people that I've spoken to, even through Pivot, right, who want to transition to customer success, especially a lot of sales folks, don't know
I
this.
was just going to say there are so many salespeople who are thinking about transitioning to CSM
Yeah,
or yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
So I keep hearing this, right? Oh, I can't take the pressure of sales. It's been a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
but the pressure is even more in some ways, because not
Mm.
only do you have to sell, you have to keep selling, you have to maintain that relationship long term,
Yeah.
which is, in some ways, it's much harder than just completing the sale and handing off that customer. Uh,
Yeah.
right? So
Very
that's
true.
that's the one, like the first area that I would talk is kind of important, a level of skills you need to develop over there. And you get a lot of negotiation, opportunity identification, all of these things come with it, right? But that's the commercial side. The
Mhm.
second thing I feel is really important today is, again, coming back to that AI element, but I would call it operational AI, right? So it's not that you're building systems and processes and a lot of the other stuff, but you're applying really important and useful tools which can
Mm.
eliminate a lot of the grunt work, right? And so it gives you a lot of time to work on things that actually matter and to plan your accounts better, to plan, renewals a lot better, uh, spend more time talking to that customer, doing these things, right? So absolutely, the prompt engineering for productivity, it's an amazing thing.
Mhm.
But also, just using AI as that intern, the unpaid intern who's just happy to be there, right? That's an absolutely great skill to have now. And
Mm.
then there's the human skills, right? That's the third area. The human skills which CS has always demanded, I think that will never go away, right? So having a good executive presence, being able to articulate your thoughts properly, communicate and don't waste people's time, right? Be concise, and brevity is important, and especially because now CS professionals talk to CIOs, CFOs, and this is happening across the board, right? Depends on what you sell, but essentially
Mm.
you're dealing with business heads. So it's very important to be able to navigate the ambiguity that they are dealing with,
Yeah.
and then help them kind of come to a conclusion which shows you as the solution to their problems, right?
Karan,
So
just a follow up quickly on that, because you frame this as a human centric skill and kind of people management and kind of stakeholder management. But would you say there's an element which is not necessarily human centric? It's more about like industry knowledge or knowledge of that particular part as well. Yeah, knowledge of the subject matter that you're talking about as well. So that's the question.
yeah, so the being a SME, subject matter expert, is par for the course. If you're a
Yeah.
CSM and you don't know your own solution or that of or of your competitors, then you're already behind, right? So this is
Mhm.
something that you need to be proficient, not necessarily technically, but at least need to know why we've built this thing, what is the typical use case, what is my customer using it for, and how can I help him use more of it and use more features and buy stuff from me. So
So
this
it's
is
kind
how.
of like table stake today to have that. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. So that just gets you in the room. That's where we are, and then the trust
Yeah.
that you develop over time keeps you there, right? But again, like AI can help you a lot in some things. AI cannot help you with these human skills, right? So the stakeholder alignment, and then uh, like influencing without the authority, right? I mean, that's a
Yeah.
huge thing. Being able to do that conflict management, right? If they're unhappy with something, AI cannot really help out there. So it's a very
Yeah.
human thing to be able to connect to people. So
Yeah.
I liken it to maybe you're in an airline, right? You're flying somewhere, and then there's turbulence. Even though there's autopilot flying the plane and all of that, we still like listening to the human pilot reassuring us, right? Hey, everything's going to be fine. It's just a little turbulence. It's nothing over there, right? So this is the
Yeah.
same thing. AI may do all of that stuff, but you still need the human in the loop, right?
Mm.
To say that, hey, this is the person. They're going to help me through it. I know it's the right choice for us. We're going to stick with these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Bharat, we'll go to you for
Yeah.
your.
I completely 100% I agree with whatever Karan just now mentioned. But however, I just wanted to basically touch base upon the previous question of yours. You're saying that you mentioned that if there is one job, you're getting 100 resumes from different kind of people. Okay, so yes, there is a scarcity. So there's always a dip when something new comes in. Okay, so we just need to take it with a pinch of salt. It does happen in each and every industry. It has happened. This time it's happening at a larger scale, especially in IT. Okay,
Mhm.
wherein there's a lot of layoffs which are happening, but there have been cases when the companies are hiring
Mm.
those professionals which they have laid off. Okay,
Mm.
so it's just a phase. Okay, it will pass off. It will definitely
Mm.
go up, and then again you will find more skilled people coming in who understands the business. Right now it is not about basically it's like what you used to say, like going into a government organization and selling. We used to go, like I have seen people going and selling to a government organization, when we used to know the who what the clerk, which kind of perfume the clerk likes. You understand? So right now it is not about the what kind of perfume the clerk is like. Clerk, that particular clerk likes that perfume, which who's going to pass on, sign on that file. But we need to know what is exactly their
Mhm.
problem is, and what is the how we can solve that problem. So it's become more specific now to the challenge, rather than doing a buttering, or kind of a building up that kind of a relationship. Okay, it has moved away. So that kind of skill set. Okay, so
Mhm.
now joining back to coming back to the question of yours just now, with the skill set. So you need to be a domain expert. When I say domain expert, let's say you come from a hotel industry, so you need to know exactly what the hotel does, which all departments which are there, which department does what kind of work, okay, and what kind of challenges that particular department faces. So you need to be a domain expert. So you CS is now, as Karan very well mentioned, there is a commercial which is commercial value which is attached to it. This particular
Mhm.
what do you say profession. So here, what we are looking at is a person who knows in and out, who is prepared, who is very well prepared before the
Yeah.
meeting. He knows exactly which industry he is catering to. He knows what kind of challenges which are there. Okay, he does a lot of background work, okay, and understands, and then go out and prepare for meeting, talk about those precise 5 6 points, not wasting time of people, okay, and,
Mhm.
and giving the solution.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's a kind of a sales guy now. He's a hunter, he's a farmer, and he's a customer success
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Just to get clarity, I mean, are you saying that there are hunting responsibilities for CSM managers today? I
Yes,
don't
there
think
are,
that
there are,
there are.
there are, there.
Oh,
There
wow.
it's an underlying current. Okay, so let's say I can talk about my company. My company has at least 80 different products. 80 different products. Okay, uh, and I would have a responsibility of let's say uh, five products, but
Hmm.
I need to create a ground, prepare a ground for other 10 products which my company is selling, which I find the fit. So
Hmm.
that's the kind of hunting opportunity which is available. It's
So
not
is that typically with the current set of clients or new set of logos that you're chasing?
no, not new set of logos. Of course not.
Okay.
It's not
So
a
it's more like upselling or cross-selling to
upselling
the
and
current.
cross selling. Yes,
Got it. Got it.
upselling and
Understood.
cross selling. But again, when I talk about the cross sell, so it's
Hmm.
not the same team that takes care of it. A team
Hmm.
which I'm dealing with is the cybersecurity team, so they might not be dealing with the admin part or the fintech product which we have.
Yeah.
Fintech product will have a different team altogether, or different department, or a marketing product like Unica, which we have. Okay, so marketing would take care of that.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of a basically going and preparing inroads for your own guys, so that you can expand which is within that particular organization.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
So
No.
it's
I think
equally
go ahead. Go ahead.
no, no, please, I'm through. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think very important perspectives. I just wanted to, just understand it also slightly deeply more from the perspective of somebody. Like there are two different types of angles that we can look at. One is a person who's already in CSM cam roles, and another is like Bharat and Karan. You both have experience. There are people transitioning from other industries or sometimes other backgrounds as well,
Mhm.
right? So I think what you have talked about, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like it is a little more centric towards people who have some level of customer success experience or maybe in similar roles and
Right.
can adapt very, very quickly to CSM. But let's say I'm somebody who's coming from a sales background, coming from some other customer interaction oriented kind of a role. There are people even from customer support or customer service or customer experience kind of roles who are then stepping into customer success, right? Now they all have a core element of client interaction, but with very different objectives depending on the organization. So, can we talk a little bit of this skill enhancement plus skill alignment with the CSM roles for people who are transitioning from adjacent or slightly different roles? Um, Karan, I think you have had a lot of experience working with both people within the pivot community and perhaps outside as well. So would love to understand how do people it's and I feel like it's not a one size fit all topic, right? It depends on where you are coming from. So how do people analyze first where they have certain gaps which need to be bridged, and then how do they acquire those new skills?
Sure, Arjun. I'll try to be as brief as possible. I know we've got like 15 minutes left for the call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but I'll just tell you from my experience, I've spoken to people from all different backgrounds. The way I look at it, right, it's like you mentioned, the gap analysis is really what we want. There are a certain number of skills that we've already spoken about on this call that that hiring managers look for. But if you can look at your current job, right? Let's say you're a sales guy, right? And one of the things you're good at is selling to people. You can talk to them. You're pretty amicable. People want to buy from you. So obviously these are good skills to have. Sometimes the gaps that I see in these folks tend to be, more on the retention front, right? So it's like, hey, as a sales guy, I know I close at some point. This concept of close doesn't exist in CS, right? It's like,
Mm,
hey, this is my relationship. It's not closing. It's opening. It's starting and it's blooming,
mm,
right? And so, as a sales guy, I would kind of focus on that and say, hey, what
mm,
happens once you close? Can you think in those terms? And it's a good idea to apply the golden rule. Like, would you want the company to treat you a certain way as a customer? And so think like that, and it helps you fill that gap, right? The rest of it is obviously you can get certified, you can learn a lot, and do all of the other great stuff. But it's important to have that concierge mindset. When Bharat said hotel, that's kind of what clicked in my mind.
yeah.
Because the concierge is very proactive, right? They don't wait for something to go wrong. They
Right.
see you walk into the thing, they're like, hey, this guy is taking the suite. Maybe I can recommend that he goes and does this high value activity as well, right?
Yeah.
So this is how the concierge thinks, and this is how the CSM should think,
Mm,
right? And so, as a sales guy, you would look at long-term stuff. If you've come from the concierge industry, then or from the hotel industry or hospitality, you're probably really good at relationships, but you may not be great at selling, right? So you might want to focus on that kind of gap. Like, hey, how can I upsell? Can I get a referral from this person? Can I get a testimonial? What can I get additionally? So it's about identifying the gap within yourself, and hiring managers also would love to see that, right? The way that you can really stand out to the hiring manager is you can show them these kind of overlaps in your current role and in the CS role that you want to apply for, but also show that you're pretty, adaptive. You know how to learn. And this is where AI fluency comes in, because you would be seen as somebody who is kind of open to change if you're learning new stuff all the time. And AI being the new thing, obviously you want to show that, hey, I'm very AI fluent. I've been using it in these tools, and then I've built out this stuff on my own, and it's really interesting to me. I want to apply this stuff, right?
yeah.
Uh, so just got to think proactively, right? So the revenue awareness, that's important. Being metrics driven, super important.
Mm,
Um, Having cross-functional kind of, that orientation to be cross-functional. I love talking to sales. I love working with product. I like talking to engineering. The data
yeah.
science team is amazing, like whatever, right? Whatever that is, getting everybody aligned, right? And then aligned with what your customer needs, uh,
Yeah.
or what they've asked for. And sometimes they don't even know what they need, right? They ask you for something, and you need to reframe it and say, hey, our product already does it, but you need to apply it in this way. So managing
Mm,
that kind of expectation, all of that stuff is really great, right? So find those gaps and present yourself as somebody who can fill these gaps, right? That's, I think, the key. And obviously quantify everything. I see a
yeah.
lot of LinkedIn profiles and resumes, where people just write about the tasks and the activities of the day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that's helping anyone, because uh,
No, not at all. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, what are you even telling me, right? I need to you to lead with outcomes. Like, what did you get done? Number one, right? I need you to kind of quantify it also and say that this is how well I did it. Give me enough context so I don't need to ask you during an interview that what it is. I can read that one line on your resume and can tell me that you're the top performer in your team of 50 or whatever, right? So absolutely important to give enough context, quantify, and then show the business impact. And uh, yeah, just make sure that you highlight this AI thing that you're doing, because people will think you're resistant to change otherwise, right? So make
Yeah.
sure that you're like, hey, look, I'm learning all this stuff, and I love to keep learning, and I'll keep applying stuff.
Okay. Very interesting. Thanks for sharing that,
Yeah,
Bharat.
just to add to what Karan actually covered and rather summarized everything, whatever I wanted to say. Just to add to just one line into it, like frame your resume in such a way. Rather, I can just give you an example. When I say I managed a 10 people team, okay, instead of that, you can say that you led the account management team, and this is the outcome that you've got. Okay, and this is how they have grown. So it's all about framing your whatever you want to say. It's just pure English, simple. So
Yes,
it's
sorry,
about,
I'm back.
yeah, so I was saying that it's all about framing your answers in a way that will suit the interviewer.
Hmm.
Okay, it's not about what you say. That, as I was giving an example, like I have managed a 10 people team, looking after the regional what you say client accounts. I can say that I led that 10 account management team, okay, portfolio, increase the retention rate, or increase the what you say sales to so and so. These many people have got basically a promotion in my team last year. This is how my team has performed. This is what the impact that I've brought into the company. Okay,
Mm.
so that is extremely important. Another thing is like, see, there's no harm in learning or reading, right? Okay, if you're an avid reader, you will have 10 different points to speak to when you're speaking with that person. Okay, you're trying to find a connect, one particular hook, as we used to call it in advertising. When you go out and meet up with a customer, with a client, okay, and that client is spending, let's say, if the client is PepsiCo, the advertising budget is somewhere close to 1800 crores, and you are managing that 1800 crores of somebody else's money. You are spending that money, so you need to have, giving them the business outcome is one part, but maintaining that particular relationship, that with that brand manager or a marketing manager or marketing director, is 10 different things, and everybody has their own likings. Someone might want, basically might love to talk about golf, or somebody
Mm.
who really loves basically flying a Cessna. So not learning, rather keep reading about different subjects, keep reading about different examples from that particular
Yeah,
industry or that people. Learning
good.
about human psychology, how we connect with each other, is because we have a common interest. If we have
Hmm.
a common interest, we have a background to talk about. We have some grounds to speak and build upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is again extremely important. Another thing which I have suggested to many of the candidates from Pivot as well, like there's a small course which comes in, which you can do rather with a small amount. That's called the design thinking.
Mm.
Actually, this particular course has helped me a lot in
Mm.
understanding human psychology, how to get into a bigger problem. Okay, how to overcome the overcome the challenges from a very messy situation.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is one thing which I really recommend.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
good transferable skill to have for sure.
yeah, it's an extremely good, and it'll help you out personally. It'll help you out. Forget about professionally. Do it for yourself.
Mm. Yeah. No, makes sense. But I think very valid points. I really like the team development aspect because I think that is something that shows, you're not just doing your job, you're trying to create a bigger impact out there for the company. Especially if you're in a, managerial leadership kind of roles. I think more and more you would be expected to, lead a team, not just, do your sort of job with a tunnel vision, check in, check out kind of a mentality. Um, let's get into some of the questions that we've been getting from our audience here today. And some of those were also shared previously, but we have a couple of questions that I would like to bring up to the screen. So one of the questions here, for some reason, the name of the person is not showing, but the question is very interesting, and I think it's alluding to something that Karan you mentioned earlier. With respect to the topic that Karan highlighted, with future promotions in CS depend more on commercial influence than domain or tech expertise. What's your take? I think it's a very valid question. Although I think, Karan, I had asked the question about the domain expertise, and you did answer it with a very specific response. But how would you answer this?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and this tech expertise, right? See, what we've been seeing is that CS is moving into very distinct directions now, right? So people who have been in CS roles are either moving towards the technical aspect of their solutions, right? So they're becoming tech experts, subject matter expert, whatever you want to call them, and that basically turns them into what we call TAMs, right, which are technical account managers. And so either they go in that direction or they go into the account management direction, the AM direction, while still retaining the CS responsibility, right? So as far as your promotions and all of that, the way I look at it, right, is that this conversation's been on for like the last 5 years or so in customer success. Everybody used to think of customer success as a cost center, right? Like, hey, we are spending so much on these people. But now the thought has shifted. They're like, hey, these guys are a profit center because it's cheaper to retain a customer than to get a new one.
Yep.
It's a lot easier to kind of get to upsell somebody who's already bought from you. There are a lot of reasons behind it, right? But also getting referrals and blah blah. So, as far as the promotion goes, it's really on you, right? You've got to decide what's a better path for you. Some people are more technically inclined. Perfect. That might work really well for them. And if they excel at that, definitely they should be getting promoted.
Mhm.
And then if they're good with, the commercial aspect, then they could go that direction, right? Uh, but the best kind of CS people that I've seen are a good balance of both, right? They know enough to help their customers on L1 stuff, level one support stuff, and all of that, and the basic use cases. But they're also commercially inclined to say that, hey, I've identified this opportunity with this customer. Now let me upsell him, or based on usage metrics, based on whatever that is. So yeah, kind of balance the two. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But then I'm a generalist, so I would say that. Yeah, Bharat, do you want to take this? I think Arjun is
Well,
frozen. Please say.
basically, a commercial, rather, Karan, you've already, there's an echo which is coming in.
Sorry about that. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Karan has already answered it very, very well. Okay, so as far as the technical expertise is concerned, you need to know enough about your own product. Okay, unless you would know about what you are selling, what your product is, in and out. I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like how to code that particular product or how to customize it to that customer solution. For that, you have a team in place. Okay, you have a hardcore technical expertise, customer success, what you say, executives, or whatever the designation the different companies give them, or technical advisors for them, right? But you need to know exactly what your product does, what is the outcome, what is the benefit your product is bringing onto the table, and how the commercially, how it is benefiting that particular that customer. Okay, so it is extremely important for you to know your product which you are selling, or service that you are selling to your customer, in and out, and don't go blank onto any question. It is very, very important. Don't go blank. Say that. Take a pause. Okay, think about it. You can answer. If you cannot answer, say that politely, that let me come back to you on this. I'm going to park it with me. Let me come back to you. Go prepared next time. There's no
Yeah.
harm in accepting.
Yeah. No, valid. All right. So I think we are coming to an end. I'll just take one more question, which is probably, again, very, very, very common, very repetitive question we get. See, the current job market is what it is, and it is brutal for many candidates, even folks who are highly qualified, highly performing candidates. I mean, just look at Meta laid off 10% of the workforce, and they've been doing it almost every other quarter, laying like 10%, 10%, 10%. And these are all people who got into Meta after several screening rounds, arguably some of the best in the world. And that's just one company, one very large profitable company. And now think about that happening across the entire tech landscape, right? So it's been a pretty brutal last 3 years for many, many people. Question is this: it's an overcrowded market with a lot of highly qualified candidates, right? Demand for these candidates is there, but it's not matching the supply of candidates that's out there. What will, if you had to, let's say, be yourself out there in the market, or advise, your closest friend right now, like your life depended on it, what would be, let's say, the top one or two things that you would say to them to tackle this current job market that can really make a difference in achieving the end outcome of landing the best role possible? um, we can
Arjun,
start with Bharat.
take this.
Bharat, I see you already
I
have.
wanted to take this up. This is a very interesting question of yours.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So let's say if I put myself into that particular shoe, and I've been there. Okay. So first of all, if you are there in the market, the best thing you can do to yourself is to remain positive, because every day is not the same. Every day is not the same. And technology or IT is not the same only industry in the world. Please understand. Even if you want to move into a customer success, every industry needs a customer success person. It's like a PR department is there everywhere in all the industry. Similar way, customer success is there in all the industry. You talk about
But
like
just a clarification there, do you mean customer success is like in the same form and fashion, or do you think it might be in a different form, like
it
a
is
cam role or something like that?
like it can be in a cam role. It can be like Karan just mentioned, a concierge in a hotel industry, or a guest relations in a hotel industry. Okay, uh, in advertising you have client leaders. Okay, client leads. You have customer success there as well. Client success advisors, client advisors, advertising advisors. So you have different industry. You just don't get closed upon with like a like you have those horses. What you say? Blinkers,
Blinders.
blinkers.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So you don't need those. You just need to open up. Okay, if you are in the market, pick up something which is there, which will keep you engaged. You will learn something there. You will learn something new. Okay, keep your mind open to different learning, different industry. Okay, don't just get focused on to one particular industry. No, this is the only industry which I'm going to get into. No, even if you are trying for that, let's say I come from a banking background, so I should have that in-depth knowledge about the banking background. If I want to get into an IT, or in IT, if that banking background guy is gonna, as like I have given a previous example, uh, that person is from a banking background, because he may be a what do you say, client relations people who are there in banks,
Hmm.
right? The relationship manager. Uh, I remember now because I got a call today in the morning itself. That annoying call for the credit card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always proactively thinking about reaching out to people.
Yeah. So, so this person, let's say, of a banking, any bank relationship manager wants to get into IT. Okay, and he's trying for a pharma tech company. Okay, or a company who's into core engineering or into core services.
Hmm.
He might not get into it because
Hmm.
he will not be able to relate to the kind of work environment which they will have, the kind of jargons they will use. So
Hmm.
might as well align yourself to a fintech company itself.
Yeah.
If the guy from, let's say, an HDFC relationship manager applies for a fintech company like Paytm, okay, or like Cred, he will
Hmm.
have better chance because he would know how the industry functions.
Hmm.
He has the domain knowledge. For the tech and all, you have your assistant there, as
Yeah.
Karan mentioned, AI the assistant. So
Hmm.
for tech, that will give you a good standing in the interview. Prepare yourself well, understand, frame your answers well, and frame what you say and understand, like just to give you an example, like I said, relationship manager in a in a bank, vis-a-vis a customer success in an IT. Okay, different,
Mhm.
what do you say, uh, different designations, but job functions is the same. They both are managing customers, existing customers.
Yeah. No, very valid point. Karan, we'll take your final thoughts on this one and then we'll start to wrap things up.
Sure. So I really like what Bharat said about being positive. I think you can't really do anything if you're not positive, right? Whatever you do beyond that, if you have a bad uh, bad thought in your mind when you're doing it, it's not going to work out. So absolutely start by being as positive as you can. Spend more time with family, friends. If you have time off, that's the right time to, these are the things you should do with that time off. But also, spend time learning something that you're really keen on, right?
Yeah.
uh, Ideally it's something that there is a demand for. So AI, absolutely sit and learn some AI. But also, find something that really excites you. It could be going, like, you were laid off from a enterprise, like a large company like Facebook or Meta. You might want to join a startup, right? I mean, that might be really interesting to you. So absolutely pursue that. Talk to these people, and startups have the lowest barrier to entry.
Mm.
Access to founders is super easy. You can get to the hiring manager or the founder, whoever it is, depending on the size, obviously. But you could go after that very quickly, right? So if I were looking today, or if my friend was looking today, my advice is kind of look at these kind of companies where the barrier to entry is low. Develop your skills to the point that you're actually in demand again, and then spend time with family, travel, do what you always wanted to, but had all the money and no time to do. Right? So yeah, spend your time doing all of these things. Get healthy. Maybe learn a new skill other than AI, like learn to play guitar. Do whatever you want to do. Right? I think
Yeah.
that's really important, and that keeps you happy also. Maybe volunteer a little bit. Volunteering is a great place to meet people also,
Mhm.
and that could help your network advance further without being directionally doing it on LinkedIn. You could actually
Yep.
do it indirectly through like a volunteer meetup, go for a run in the morning, do things like that. So yeah, that
Mhm.
would be my piece of advice. And always remember, right, just one little thought I had about AI and customer success. uh, AI will be great at collating data, generating data, doing all of that stuff, right, all that work. But
Yep.
trust is always going to be a human thing, right? So no matter
Absolutely.
how much AI you incorporate, people want to buy from people. People trust humans, and so if you can position yourself as an AI-enabled professional, nothing like it.
That's very well structured and comprehensively covered. Thank you so much, Karan and Bharat. I think, yeah, with that we are coming to a close, and I think we covered a lot of ground. Thank you for making sure we covered the AI aspects, but also the non-AI, human and domain specific aspects. I think those are sometimes, if not more important, at least as important as the whole AI narrative that's going around there. So I hope people who joined us today were able to get some actionable insights, which you can hopefully apply to achieve your goals, from even starting today. And if there are any further questions or doubts that you have, do feel free to visit our website mypivot.work. You can look at my signature if you'd like to see how to spell it out, and you can have one-on-one, very personalized, objective discussions with folks like Karan and Bharat, who spend a lot of time not just honing their skills but also helping many other people leverage the best opportunities in the market right now. So definitely check it out, and I again really am grateful for Karan, Bharat, both of you, to be here with me today sharing your thoughts, and to everybody who joined us and took out their time. Thanks once again, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so very much, Arjun, for
Thank
this.
you, guys. Have a good
Thank you
evening.
so much, Karan. Thank you. Bye
Thanks a
bye.
lot. Bye.
Thanks everyone. Bye bye.